Hello everybody, this is Shahaf. Today is March 19th and I'm here for an update. I have two big things on my plate today, gCOTI and Djed. I have other things, but these are the two things we'll focus on today. With Djed, mostly the recent market events, the depegging of major stable coins, and with gCOTI mostly I want to touch the gCOTI campaign. But before I do that, here are some things that happened since my last video. So we have a new node operators. Congrats to Stefanos, very well deserved. We have more than 500 million COTI deposited in COTI's treasury, which is a milestone. So congrats, and gCOTI and Treasury 2.0, everything is around that. Two major things we've been participating in. One is a panel in the FinTech Week that I've joined. I've joined forces with Barclays Bank, with the Central Bank of Lithuania and Yardley Ventures to a panel about CBDCs and stablecoins, how COTI sees the future. We were the only tech company in that panel. It was super interesting, and we'll see how that follows. Other than that, COTI has been selected by Startup Nation Central to present at Connect to Innovate in Bahrain. The event brought together Bahraini businesses and innovative Israeli companies to forge valuable connections and explore potential collaborations. So Yair from the COTI team was there on stage and in various panels and held lots of meetings. And I expect some great news to follow from that. Okay, so let's talk about Djed. So last week's events caused some market turbulence, and we've seen major stablecoins losing their peg. It was USDC, DAI, Frax, just to name a few. Djed did not lose its peg. Now, why is it so? Because Djed enjoys three major properties of a stablecoin that want to stay pegged. Djed is decentralized. It does not rely on fiat or someone, messing with the peg. It's over-collateralized, so it can be backed with crypto, and hence it's also verifiable. You can see the collateral on-chain, and this is why the trust remains, and this is why Djed did not lose its peg, even though much bigger stablecoins lost their peg. What does it mean? It means that, first of all, we've seen high demand for Djed the last few days, right? And a record trading volume on DEXs. And we've also received requests from other DeFi ecosystems outside of the Cardano ecosystem to have Djed on Ethereum, to have Djed on Binance Smart Chain, just to name a few, because DeFi participants in this ecosystem also want a stablecoin that they can rely on. So it was always in the plans. Now it becomes a plan that we will probably exercise much faster. So Djed will be on other chains as well, obviously on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, that just to name a few. It will probably be on other chains as well, because DeFi ecosystems need a stablecoin that is stable and reliable. So this is one big thing that is happening. The other big thing is the opportunity for shareholders, obviously, because the increased demand for Djed. And obviously, if Djed can go to DeFi ecosystems that are by definition bigger, then it means a lot more fees, and this grows the value of shareholders. It also grows the APY for COTI's treasury participants, which leads us to the next thing that I wanted to discuss today, which is the gCOTI campaign. We've just recently published an announcement about gCOTI, and this week we plan on announcing the specifics of the gCOTI airdrop campaign, where it's your opportunity as a COTI holder to receive all this value if you participate in the campaign. Let's talk a bit about schedule, and then I'll answer some questions that rose in the community and try to make sure that everything is clear. If not, ask again and we'll answer everything. So the first airdrop campaign for native COTI holders will take place in the first week of April. That's the plan. It may shift a bit, but that's the plan. The airdrop campaign for COTI ERC20 holders that do have a Viper wallet will take place in the third week of April. The campaign for COTI ERC20 holders that do not have a Viper wallet will take place on some exchange. This was something that we've been working on. It came as a question and then as a request from the community. Please, if we do not have a Viper wallet, but we do have COTI, how can we participate? And we've been working on this. And the idea that we have on how to solve this is with an exchange partner. So we're talking with quite a few of them. The idea is to have a campaign on exchange where you can lock your COTI ERC20 in an exchange instead of in COTI's treasury, and then you'll be eligible for the gCOTI airdrop. So that's the plan. Lastly, a community campaign will take place in the end of May, which is your opportunity as a loyal member of the COTI ecosystem to participate and receive gCOTI. So here are some questions, some ideas that I've phrased together to try and address all the questions, concerns, and ideas that the community had. First of all, I want to say that the idea with the gCOTI airdrop campaign is that it will be to the widest audience possible. So there are various ways to participate, whether it's with native COTI or with ERC20 COTI, whether it's with or without a Viper. In theory, you can even participate in the campaign without having COTI just because of the COTI community campaign. It is highly likely, but you can. So there are many ways to participate, and there is one way not to participate. You can just say, I don't want to be part of the 10% airdrop, and then participate in COTI's treasury in the next 5 years and receive part of the 42% that goes to everyone. So it's pretty much wide reach, which we feel is as fair as it can be. There were questions about how would the exchange-based campaign actually work. So first of all, it's still in discussions, and I do hope to lock this, and I feel that we can with COTI's distribution on all of the exchanges. So we are looking for a global exchange. So it will be, again, with wide reach. And the idea is that you lock on the exchange for periods of time that are similar to what we have in the treasury and receive gCOTI directly to your exchange account, because gCOTI, goes without saying, will also exist in its ERC20 form because of COTI's bridge. Okay, some people ask about, hey, why is the airdrop campaign only for those who, like the locking in the campaign is without any multiplier? Why so? Or why is it fair? Guys, this is not about being fair. It's about being responsible. I don't want people to worry for a year about whether or not they'll be liquidated. This is not part of the COTI experience, right? And even if some people, as grown-ups, want to assume this risk, this is not something that I will clear. So this is my decision, and I'm not going to change it. So if you're going to lock with a hard lock without the ability to withdraw, then you cannot add multiplier, full stop. Remember though, and some said, so it just means that I will have a lower APY than someone that does have a multiplier and is not taking part of the campaign. Well, first of all, remember that longer periods of time increase your APY, so I expect this to offset. But also remember that you are getting gCOTI. gCOTI will have some value. That value, you can think of it as part of your APY as well. So I wouldn't worry about this too much. And again, this is the more responsible way, and this is how we are going to do this. Some said, hey, we thought that gCOTI will be for all treasury participants, not just for those who participate in the campaign. And yes, this is true, actually. 42% of all gCOTI will go to those who use the treasury in the coming 5 years, whether or not they use multiplier, various periods, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So all forms of participations in COTI's treasury moving forward will have gCOTI attached to them. Some said, and again, this is coming from loyal participants in our ecosystem. What about those who have been staking from the beginning of the treasury, etc.? Why are we not retroactively being granted a gCOTI? Well, first, we could have done that, but we've realized that because this is like a level playing field, it's more fair. And remember that if you're already locking for longer periods of time throughout time, then you're in a great position to participate in the campaign anyway. And that same allocation will be for those who are willing to do so, right? So you're probably going to get the same gCOTI allocation, and you're probably in a very good position to get the early bird bonus as well. So I think this is fair. This will attract new users as well, but it will also be very beneficial and very rewarding to those who have been with us for longer periods of time and will be with us for longer periods of time. So I think this is fair, and you can probably max out the amount of gCOTI that you can receive just by locking for the longer period. With regards to fees, a lot of questions about fees, so we just made it super easy. So the idea is that, moving deposits, changing locking periods, et cetera, to take part of the campaign will be exempt from fees, right? So so that's like the leading idea, and this is how the product team is building everything. People ask what would be the APY for various locking periods in the campaign, and how much of a boost will I get with gCOTI once I have it. So remember that I can't give you a straight answer because this is very dynamic. It depends a lot on what other participants are doing. So theoretically speaking, if you're the only one who's using gCOTI, then you're probably getting a higher boost than if everybody else in the treasury is doing the same thing like you, right? Which is also unlikely. So it depends on the fees that we have at that time, et cetera, et cetera. So it's super dynamic, but the idea is that longer periods of time, higher multipliers, and gCOTI all add to your APY. Overall, regarding gCOTI, and remember that I saw a lot of questions and debates, etc. Remember, this is something that you're getting for free because you are part of this ecosystem. You do not have to participate in the campaign. I encourage you to review everything and then make a decision. But generally speaking, you're getting a lot of value. And because I've eliminated the multiplier from the campaign, then you're probably not, you will not be liquidated, so you're not assuming any risk with that. So I think overall this is a massive opportunity to get value from your COTI. We've done this before, remember with Govi, where when we airdropped Govi to COTI holders, it ended up being worth like $16 million at that time. And just recently, like last Thursday, Govi holders who used the crypto volatility index, like our DeFi arm, have received an airdrop of the Arbitrum token, the ARB token. And I saw tens of people receiving thousands of dollars worth of what we assume to be thousands of dollars worth of Arbitrum. So it's always great to be around where the airdrop takes place, and this is your opportunity. All right, last thing on my agenda is to talk about some roadmap updates. As I've mentioned in some interview, we are shifting our roadmap to be able to showcase the first private payment network client that we're launching with. We want to do that sooner than we planned, and because we just understand how important it is to our community. So we'll shift things a bit and do that earlier than expected. So in the coming weeks, there'll be some updates around this. Other than that, and in accordance with our 2023 roadmap, we'd like to inform you that we've decided to focus on moving forward with developing the milestones that we set rather than maintaining some legacy products like the COTI Pay iOS and Android apps. So once the gCOTI campaign goes live, we're going to discontinue the development of COTI Pay apps, and they will be removed from the app stores. It just became too much of a burden, and everything that we do on web we need to do on the iOS and Android, etc. And we can do that, but that means that we cannot do other things because there's so many things that a company can do in a day. There are like 30-something thousand users using the apps, and I'm sorry for those users. But the COTI Pay Viper wallet supports both desktop and mobile web access, and we feel that it is a good enough user experience, and it should be good for everybody. And it just means that we'll be able to do other things that we want to do on time, including, as I've mentioned, making sure that we can support the first private payment network on our trust chain. Okay. What else? I've mentioned Djed going multi-chain. This is something that we plan on doing earlier than expected just because of the increased demand for a stable coin. And we want to do this sooner rather than later. And as I've mentioned with COTI V2, which we're not talking a lot about, because this is something that is we're currently working on in terms of validating the idea and everything else. This year, white paper and a lot of collateral around it, probably start production, but nothing on mainnet this year with COTI V2. Instead, we'll do the roadmap that we planned. Okay, that is all that I have for today. Stay tuned for the upcoming news, as I've mentioned, and we look forward to seeing all of you participate in the gCOTI campaign. Stay COTI.